That's another one I've read about, Fenton House. I thought it was pretty spectacular looking gates. Oh my God, just seen something else. I haven't got reverse. Hang on. This one is called Enfield House. If you know anything about me, you'll know that I live in Enfield. It's that dump in the north of London. If I was living in Enfield and it was Enfield House, now that would be different. I wouldn't mind that. But I don't. I live in actual Enfield. And like this chap. You can't win them all. Right up here. The holly bush. You want to be famous?
Oh, sorry.
No. Please stay there, Stay. I'm joking. Yeah.
Dogs in it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, they are cute. Fun with the locals, but yeah, when I was living in the area, we'd often come here for a drink because it's a real little hidden gem, you know, tucked away. Good food too, I think, from what I can remember. What day to be out cruising and rolling around in Hampstead, eh? Got all these little alleys, look. I think this one's a bit tough for me. Got some steep steps. Oh, man. It's so goddamn achingly beautiful around here. It really is. This place just feels so old. It's like brimming with history. You can really feel it in the walls and everything. Let's give you a look what it looks like on the way back out, past the Hollybush pub. Cruising back out now down Holly Lane past the Hollybush pub. Little alleys down there, they take you back down to the street. And if you're from another part of the world and you don't know what's going on here, do you ever wonder what these things are? No, they're not little hedgehog houses or mouse houses or anything like that. Back in the old Victorian days, of course, people coming home, these streets would have been very muddy and dirty. And before people went into their houses, they would scrape their boots off there, scrape all the mud off. And in some places, they look more like this. Little boot scrapers. Look, that one's been used and worn so much, it's nearly worn away. So those are boot scrapers. There's another one. I want to go down there, but this is a one-way street down that way, so I'm not going to do it for once. But there's a lane here that I'm curious about, so I'm going to do this instead. Hampstead is so old, it's absolutely packed full of little lanes and back alleys and streets. It's a great place to come and explore. Let's keep going. And what is this? This is a nice street. I don't remember this. I don't think I've seen this before. This is a really nice little street. I'm going to get out of this causeway a minute, but look at this. Look at these old houses. Let's have a little ride up and have a look. When I see houses like this, I think they're Georgian. But I'm totally guessing and stabbing in the dark because I haven't got a clue, to be honest. This is an unusual one with this overhang. Ah, we're here. Right, we've come around the back. Just out of curiosity, let's have a look in the estate agents. Look at this place. Can you see that? That is spectacular. Now, it doesn't say how many bedrooms, but what it does say at the bottom is 4.5 million. That says 5 million. And on we go.
Oh my God!
A beautiful greeting just there. That's how we do it around here, darlings. This is the Everyman Cinema. Aha! What can we see of it? Just a bit of the entrance there, like that. So this is the Everyman Theatre. And this must be the back of it, where the actual screen is, back there somewhere. Just by these old houses. Right. Let's get back into the village. This is the main crossroads of Hampstead itself. Just opposite me there, we've got Hampstead Tube Station, the underground. A very deep one, no doubt. That's the hill we were on earlier. And then coming this way, you've got a bit more of the high street. Some colourful buildings down there. I think we'll go that way. And then the Everyman Theatre just here behind me. Let's go and have another little look around the back. It's a nice little walk through. That should be good. I'm going to walk through there. And I am going to walk it. This is going to bring us out by that Creperie, I think, if I've got this right. So this could be an interesting little wander. Lots of people. Keep your eyes out for celebs. People are fully queuing up here to eat and get coffee at Ginger and White. Must be the place to be. Quite possibly a bit of a touristy thing, or maybe not. Oh, look at this one, looks nice. Look at this boy. Oh. Tell you what, they love a dog round here. People really love their dogs in Hampstead, that's for sure. Because they're right on the edge of the heath, everybody can walk their dogs on Hampstead Heath, which of course we'll be going to next. After we finish looking around all this loveliness, this is the Creperie. Let's check that out. You see people walking around with rolled up crepes in their hands everywhere, because these are so famous and popular. Look at that. Queues for crepes. Unfortunately, if you're gluten-free like me, it's not an option. But that's all right. That's another good pub, King William IV. You'll notice that in a lot of my rides in different places, I've been talking about pubs closing. Pubs are closing in areas where people can't really afford to keep them going. But places like this, pubs can survive comfortably because people have plenty of spare cash to spend a lot of money on beer and drinks. It's not a problem for them. So these pubs just keep on going. They're very robust, let's say. One thing I'm catching as I ride around here is quite a lot of American accents. Americans seem to love this part of London. This part, Primrose Hill, places like that, it's somewhere where the Americans tend to congregate. I understand, anybody would come here if they could, given the option. I think they're probably drawn to the lifestyle and the history. The main village of Hampstead itself that we're in now is not actually a very big space. You could walk all around it in, half an hour or so, but if you wanted to have a good look around and check out a lot more of the back streets and the little buildings and all that sort of stuff, the nice houses, you could spend a day here easily just wandering, having a coffee, having drinks, and going exploring different areas. And it's perfectly safe to do so, there's no issues up here really. Well, I'm going to carry on past Hampstead Station, turn right and go right up to the top again past the pond, and then wing it from there. Up the hill, here we go. Bit of speed as well. Past Gaucho, Argentinian beef house. Aye, aye, am I being chased? Past the New York Cafe, there's a steep bit. And here we are, back up by the pond. So let's make a decision. Well, while we're here, let me just rattle off a few of the famous names that we know live in the area or have lived in the area, some of which I've seen and bumped into in my times. I bumped into Rhys Ifans once, that was a good one. He, if you've seen the Swansea episode, will know he was one of the main stars, if not the main star, of Twin Town. I've also bumped into Helena Bonham Carter. She lives somewhere in the area, and they have a fairground, like a carnival type thing on Hampstead Heath every year. And we went there, and there she was. Who else is there? Ricky Gervais famously lives in the area, we all know that, if he's not in Hollywood. We know Frank Skinner lives in the area somewhere. I used to love listening to his radio show on a Saturday morning. Shame that went. George Michael used to live in Highgate, which is more over that direction. Yeah, and probably a whole bunch of other actors and musicians, quite honestly. You've seen what it's like now. It's like a little Hollywood, a little Beverly Hills. Hills and houses hidden away, tucked away everywhere. Worth a lot of money, very secure. Going for walks on Hampstead Heath with their perfect dogs, Everything's really nice. I mean, I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just really a lovely place to hang around and be part of the atmosphere. It really is. It makes me feel very underdressed. But then again, I feel that everywhere I go, because I'm a scruffy git. One of my little pipe dreams is one day I'll fall into some money somehow. Lots of it. Don't know how it's going to happen. I'll end up living somewhere like this, and I'll be the scruffy guy walking around everywhere. Well, there's nothing else for it. Let's go and explore the Heath. I don't know if you can see it, but just here on the left, you've got Jack Straw's Castle. I'm told it used to be a pub, but it looks way too big to be a pub for me. It's massive. We've got to get over this side onto the Heath. Come with me. There you go. Into the heath, onto a bit of gravel. If we did see a celebrity, chances are these days I wouldn't know who they were anyway. I hardly ever watch TV anymore. Let's go this way. Good boy. Thank you. Before anybody says anything, you can ride your bike here. I'll tell you a story about this area in a minute. Once I get down this bit. I've recently crashed my bike, so I don't want to do it again, so I'm being a little bit careful. I had quite a nasty wrist injury. I remember this fallen tree. Look at that. I think they leave it like this. I specifically remember this tree for many, many years. Meet you by the fallen tree and all that. You don't know what it's like. It's so hard for me to be here. I genuinely miss this place. When I lived only like 2 kilometers from it, just to come up here in the heath and be in this area was absolutely fantastic. I know I've got similar, you know, and they're similar everywhere, but there's something about Hampstead Heath that's different. It's got a different atmosphere. Not in that way either. It's not like that. Although, years ago, when I was a budding actor, or wannabe actor, I enrolled as an extra in an extras agency. And I got a little role one time. They gave me a call and asked if I could meet them up on Hampstead Heath. Let's have a little ride down here, because this bit looks really familiar. It was in the days of Friday night and Saturday night telly, when things like TGI Fridays was on, and I can't remember the name of the show, but the main presenters were a guy called Justin Lee Collins and Alan Carr, and he's done very well for himself, but Justin Lee Collins seems to have died down a bit. He had long hair, he was pretty hectic. So it was him, Alan Carr, and the main actor, they have like a guest actor, and it was a guy called Rupert Everett. So the popular topic of the day on that programme was around the time that George Michael got caught for doing things he maybe shouldn't have been doing. So they did a little sketch up here on Hampstead Heath about, let's say, a hobby called cruising, where gay gentlemen would be cruising around looking for other gentlemen. So the piss take sort of scene that I had to be involved in was Justin Lee Collins was sort of hanging around in the trees up here somewhere, and I was walking through and it was just getting dark, and I was supposed to stop and sort of bump into him and say, oh, hello, how are you? What are you up to? And he was pretending to be looking for someone, and I was supposed to interact with him, which I did. And yeah, it was quite good fun, because Justin Lee Collins was this really wild character, and he really helped you get through this really spur of the moment scene, if you like. But what that means is my first ever acting job, my one and only acting job, was playing a gay guy cruising on the heath looking for business. I may or may not include this little anecdote in the video. Oh Christ, I knocked myself out on that branch then. Hampstead Heath. 790 acres of forest and open heathland and woodland. A beautiful spot to hang out. Oh, and this is Kenwood. So let's go and check that out. That's really interesting. I think the woodland is called Kenwood, and then the house itself, which is just up the way a bit, which we featured in another Kentish Town episode, is called Kenwood House. These are all the people having a walk, probably taking the path which we're going to take in a minute to and from Kenwood House. And this is what the typical top of Hampstead Heath looks like, and a fantastic spot just to bring a blanket and have a picnic, just hang out for a bit and enjoy a bit of downtime. Maybe a bit of a digital detox, who knows. Waiting patiently there. Oh dear, there's a bath on the cards for you then. Yeah, bath time for you. Just want to nip over this way. We got something here. Ooh, got something else going on there. Some of you may recognize one of these. Very quick story, one of my old bandmates, Matt, who featured in a few of the videos, not personally, but in pictures and then playing guitar. Anyway, he came to visit to London once and he stayed in the house, and a few times he came, and we'd walk up here in the morning for breakfast and stuff. And we walked up here and he saw this from a distance and he said, must got to be a Henry Moore, isn't it? And I looked at him like, how the hell do you know that? I didn't even know that. And he was like, just like that. Looks like a Henry Moore to me. He was right. Look at this grass. It's like a bowling green, it's like a fairway. This is some of the comfiest grass I've ever laid on. Oh, man. Heaven.